injury related. Guys are progressing, with Baker, taking it day by day here, and he's feeling better today. So we'll see. He will be limited again today. Another note: we had to send Odell home today with an illness, and with this day and age, he's got to be so careful in this environment. So just want to make sure we're being proactive in that regard. So other than that, I will take any questions you got.
Thank you, Coach. The first one will come from Jake Trotter.
Yeah, Kevin. So with Odell, is that you concerned at all that he might have COVID, or is it just an unrelated illness?
Just with how the protocols are, you have to be careful. So I don't want to assume anything, but with all of our guys, we'll make sure we just follow the protocols and just be safe.
And then with Baker, was he able to throw it all yesterday? He was, and then
yes.
Expect him to do a little bit more today than he did
yesterday.
Yesterday.
Exactly.
Thanks, Jake. Next up is Tom Withers.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Coach. In terms of Baker, Coach, is it more of a pain tolerance thing, or is it mobility, flexibility, all of the above?
Yeah, I do, Tom. I think it's all of the above. I think, with any injury, there's always flexibility and movement, and then there's a pain element to all of this. But he is progressing.
Okay, and in a worst case scenario, and he's not unable to play, confidence in Case, because of his experience, has got to be real high for you.
Yeah, I think all of our guys, you look back to that last game, guys step up and got to perform. So Case has been a backup in this league for a very long time. He's been a starter. He understands how to prepare if need be.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Mary Kay Cabot, you have your next question.
Just with everything going on in the league over the last couple of weeks with all the different COVID issues and everything like this, does this put you guys on, a little bit of high alert or anything like that with what's going on today?
I think been on high alert, Mary Kay. I think that's just 2020. So we just make sure that we're following every protocol there is and keep everybody safe.
And is there anything more that you can do that you're already doing, knowing that you had to send him home? I mean, is there anything else that you can do?
I don't think so, Mary Kay. I think we got to, Joe Sheehan does a great job of making sure we're on top of all of this.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mary Kay. Jeff Shadell, you're up next.
Hey, Kevin. From what you saw on film last year about Baker compared to now, do you think he's doing his fakes better, his play fakes better?
I don't want to compare it to last year, Jeff. I could tell you how he's doing this year. I think he's doing a nice job. I mean, we really, really drill that. We emphasize it, and he takes it to heart. So he's doing everything he can to be a big part of the run game, the play action game. I mean, for him, in a lot of run schemes, you're not blocking the backside defensive end. And we say the quarterback is blocking him by his run fake, by carrying out his fake. So he's diligent about that. And he knows he owns them. And I think he gets excited when a run game or a run comes out of there because he held the backside at the end.
Scott Petrick, you have our next question. Scott, can you go ahead and hit unmute, please? All right, we'll go to Nate Ulrich.
Hey, Kevin, with the protocols, is there any testing that you have to go off of with Odell's situation?
What do you mean by that, Nate?
Like, in other words, if he tested positive, you'd have to shut down the facility. So he hasn't tested positive, and that's...
Yeah, correct. He's just feeling under the weather. So you guys have heard it said, abundance of caution. So
okay, and then you'll find out more tomorrow.
Right.
His most recent test, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I just want to clarify things.
Thanks, Nate. Next up is Aditi Kinkabwala.
Hi. One of the things that BJ Goodson said earlier is that you learn from the mistakes that other defenses made. When you look at the 4 teams that the Steelers have played, is there enough similarity in what those defenses do? Are there indeed things you can pick up? I'm really sorry.
That's okay. No problem. Yeah, I think throughout the season, you do, as you play every single one of these games, you kind of file things away. And I know in the teams we've played, both from an offensive perspective, from a defensive perspective, you do see things show up if you don't do a great job of addressing them in the first game. So you've heard it said it's a copycat league. If our defense, if something hurts them in a game, I promise you it's going to show up in the next game. So that's why corrections are such a big part of this week to week.
And then Aditi, did you have a follow-up? You can just thumbs up or thumbs down.
This kid was born in Cleveland, so she's trying to get a voice in all of this. I apologize.
I respect it.
Not having fans, do you think that makes a difference in the Myles Garrett situation? Does that kind of lower the tenor potentially?
I don't know, Aditi. It's hard for me to say. I do know this. In our building, I heard all 12,000 of them.
Thank you, Aditi. We'll go to Jake Trotter for our next question.
Yeah, Kevin, did Odell take a COVID test today yet before he got sent home? Okay, so then you'll just wait for the results tomorrow and then go from there.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, Jake. Mary Kay Cabot, your line's open.
He's had such a big impact on the season in so many different ways. If for some reason he's not able to play, what are you taking out of the lineup when you don't have your star receiver in a game?
I don't know if I want to go there yet, Mary Kay, but I would tell you, obviously, and you've heard me say this before, he's a big part of what we do. He works very hard throughout the week, so he's doing a nice job.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary Kay. Scott Petrick, we'll go to you.
Hey, Kevin, my internet cut out for a second, so if you got this question already, just let me know. But do you feel a need to bring in a third quarterback now that Garrett isn't on your practice squad, and does that kind of get amplified this week with Baker being sore like he is?
We've talked about it, Scott. We're in constant communication about ways to get better at all the positions. So it's something that we're definitely talking about.
Does it feel even more risky at that position when you don't have the kind of layers of depth as opposed to maybe some other position?
Yeah, I mean, I think you definitely have contingency plans, and you have to make sure you're smart about it from that perspective. Yes.
Thanks.
Thanks, Scott. Next up is Nate Ulrich.
You got anybody back at practice today?
I think we'll see, Nate. I don't want to speak out of turn. Let's see. Let's get through, and then we'll give you the update afterwards.
Thanks, Nate. We'll go to Daryl Ryder.
Hey, Coach, what have you seen from Ben Roethlisberger here on film? Does he look like he's back to being the player that he was prior to his injury last year?
Definitely does to me. I have a ton of respect for the player he is, all the games he's won there. He's done a great job. You just see that offense fits him to a T. He's able to make all the throws. He spreads the ball around to all their playmakers. He does a really, really nice job.
We talked to Mike Prefer earlier. He said he's probably going to make some changes to his coverage units. Not real happy with the performance he got. He told us how Mack Wilson, after the kick return, went to him and said, "Hey, what can I do?" Just from your perspective as the head coach, what do you think of those changes being made, and what's it say when players volunteer to participate on special teams?
Yeah, we have to be better in that phase. That's no mystery. I know our players know that, and I do appreciate guys like Mac. I do appreciate a lot of the guys on this team that really just want to help us win. I pointed out a guy like Taki, who didn't have a ton of plays on defense this last game. I want to say he had 15 or so, but he was outstanding on special teams. He affected the game. He helped us win. And that's a great attitude that I think permeates throughout our building.
Thanks, Daryl. We'll go to Scott Petrick next.
Hey, Kevin, I think you said yesterday that the Steelers rush with violence. They rush the passer with violence. What makes those two edge guys so good? And how is Jed held up against similar guys in these first 5 games?
Yeah, there's a speed rush. There's speed to power rush. There's just bull rush. So there's different and varying ways that the two guys in particular, Dupree and Watt, how they rush. I mean, they have a full arsenal. So it's going to be a great challenge for Jack. It's going to be a great challenge for Jed. And like we've talked about, in the NFL, it seems week to week, there's always another guy coming at you, and this will be a big challenge this week.
And when we talked to Joel, he said that Jed's so quiet that he never really knows if he's kind of picking things up until he gets on the field and then doesn't make any mistakes. Have you had the same kind of experience with him?
Yeah, that's fair. He's quiet. He's conscientious, but he does a great job.
Thanks.
Thanks, Scott. We'll go to Tony Grossi.
Hey, Kevin, Antonio was talking about how the Steelers are so good at collapsing the pocket with their inside rush. And then you got those two edge guys that try to keep the quarterback in the pocket. Did they put, does that combination put any more pressure on you on timing of your play calls, your passing plays in particular?
I think it definitely does, Tony. I think anytime you're facing a front like this, a team that's applying pressure, you know you can't hold the ball. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. So we got to have plays where guys get open quickly, and then have enough plays where we're pushing the ball down the field, but being smart about how we do that.
Thanks, Tony. Aditi, we'll come back to you.
When you look at the Steelers Sunday game against the Eagles, Chase Claypool's performance, how much of that do you think was the Eagles just not knowing the rookie, and therefore the Steelers were able to exploit matchups, line him up with a linebacker, or how much of it is really who that kid is and how has he changed what you had to prepare for this week?
Yeah, there's definitely something to that with rookies. You don't have a full book on them, but physically, and we, like everybody, did him coming out physically, extremely gifted, size, speed, all of that, competing for the ball. So now that you have seen it on tape, I guess it maybe solidifies what you thought about him. But we definitely have to have a plan for all their guys, and he's a huge part of what they're doing right now.